Bro, I saw a think piece the other day about people like not showing up anymore and then being like, oh, like it's just like setting boundaries. Like, no, like that girl in the video said, if your friend's fucking birthday is today and you don't feel like going out, go the fuck out. I'm like, oh my god, I thought it was just me that thought about our generation like this. So many people will be piece of shit fucking individuals and then be like, oh, I just don't play about my boundaries. I have told my parents about certain scenarios where people have said things or like done things to me and they're like, oh wow, like I really notice within your generation you guys don't show up for each other.
Are we the drama? Let's talk about loneliness. We have become self-centered.
You don't owe anybody anything, but you do, because you're a human being. We owe each other empathy, we owe each other decency.
Self-care, loving yourself, all of the things are important and valuable. And I feel like our generation does a better job than our previous generations did of standing up for ourselves, setting firmer boundaries, being more able to stand on business. But I think that humans have always struggled with moderation. And so now I fear we're entering into a new territory that is leaning more and more to unhealthy self-centeredness, and I want to talk about it while I get ready, of course. Welcome back to Boss Girlified. It is your girl Tima. Guys, I got my cartilage pierced finally, and then I got my second piercing. I literally just got them yesterday, so they're very, very sore, especially the cartilage. I really want to get an industrial too. Like, I know that's gonna hurt, but temporary pain for permanent beauty. Also, my period is coming up very soon. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for my period hygiene video. Don't worry, y'all. It will be coming out very, very soon. So what prompted me to film this video was I came across this new hot take that I really have not seen anyone touch on too much on the internet besides this one girl.
So many people will be piece of shit fucking individuals and then be like, oh, I just don't play about my boundaries. No, you're...
If you haven't watched that video, I think you should definitely watch it because she makes some really valid points. And then come back to this one. The amount of people that want a village but don't want to be a villager is actually insane, because you just expect people to show up for you, but you don't want to do the same in return. How does that fucking work? Make it make sense, like, honestly. The video that I stitched was mentioning how, like, people don't want to be inconvenienced anymore in their friendships or in their relationships. They're just too self-centered, me, and the whole I don't owe anybody anything mentality, right? So she was talking about, like, if it's your friend's birthday and you don't want to go out, just fucking go out, man. It's your friend's birthday, right? And I think that's really funny because a lot of people don't seem to understand that concept. Like, genuinely, like, the whole showing up for your friends concept is like a mentality that a lot of people just don't fucking have. The gist of this video is that just show up for your friends, dude. Like, sometimes it's not all about you. Sometimes, you know, yeah, you might wake up and not really want to go to your friend's birthday party that you guys have been planning for 2 months. But, you know, you already said that you were going to go. That's your friend. It's their birthday, especially if it's a big event. I understand if it's something small. And, you know, of course, listen to mental health and take care of yourself. But when it comes to something like a big commitment that you know is important to the people that you care about, you do have to be less selfish. You do have to put your family, your friends, you have to put their feelings into consideration. And a big comment and a big statement of these videos is that everyone wants to have a village, but no one wants to be a villager. And I feel like that is the pinnacle of what the issue is. And I feel like not only have I seen this in my personal life, of course, haven't we all, but I feel like the internet culture now definitely points to why we're more and more so becoming less considerate. I think I'm gonna use the Danessa Myricks skin tint today. I haven't used this in a while because, I mean, it's nice, but I think this is better for people who have oilier skin, but it still works great for me. I think I just stray away from it because I have other favorites. I'm gonna use it to conceal my brows, I think, as I do it. But basically, there's been a trend on the internet of we don't owe anybody anything. Focus on you. Get what you can out of people. You.
But you definitely owe yourself a good
customizable accessory to add to your wardrobe. Tima, how are you always so put together? Well, thank you for asking. The fashion secret to looking put together at all times is to have a staple that's not only cute and reliable, but that you could switch up to. Like my reading glasses from Pair, which is the partner of today's video. Pair Eyewear makes ordering prescription, blue light, or any other type of glasses you might need easy and affordable. All you do is go to the Pair website and choose which base frame you want, as well as your top frame and prescription lens if you choose. I personally chose the Kirby as my base with a 0.25 reading lens because I'm a reading girly and I'm trying to read 3 books for my 75 hard. You can also virtually try on any of the frames you want before you actually purchase. Some of the top frames I chose include the tortoise, the sun top tortoise. I'm literally gonna wear this today. The black gold top reflective sun top, and this, and this, and this. This is honestly so much easier than going in store. With Pair, you can do it from the comfort of your home and have it delivered straight to you. And you can do that at 15% off with the link in my bio using my code on the screen, BossGirlified15. Thank you so much to Pair Eyewear for partnering with me on today's video. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight back into it.
I don't care how much like TikTok therapy speech you have internalized, you do owe people things, especially if you're in relationships with them. Like if you're friends with someone, you do owe them a text back. You do owe them hanging out. You do owe them like honesty and empathy.
I feel like it comes from somewhere too. It's not just like out of thin air that we decided to become this extreme with being self-centered. But I feel like our generation or our times right now can be summed up in extremeness. Like everything is very extreme, very radical. You have to be on one side or the other. There's not really nuance a lot of the times. And I feel like we didn't want to be like the previous generations that just kind of let things happen and didn't stand for change, weren't progressive, weren't as progressive. And we were like, okay, we now have social media. We have all these tools to better not only the world, but ourselves. So we're going to do that. But I feel like we took it too far and too literally. You guys, I don't know if it's going to be a good brow day. We're going to hope. This brow came out perfect though. Oh my god, why is it dark? This brow came out literally perfect. And this one is just like, she's struggling a little bit, but it's all right. One perfect brow is a very good start. In turn, we have become very extreme in our self-focused, self-care, consumption, us mentality. Even more now than ever, it's seeping into people's personal lives, personal relationships, and friendships. I'm just gonna put some of that on my lid too. I just be trying new things every time I do my makeup, honestly, but I really want to see how I like a more similar to my skin tone color on my lid instead of something really brightening. We see it in like every pocket of the internet right now. We rarely, if ever, see... Wow, you guys are so cool. I wish I was that cool.
I think I have to say something. Hey, I think this whole thing you're doing is so fucking cool.
We rarely, if ever, see advice about friendships and relationships that isn't self-centered as fuck, honestly. As much as I love these women and as much as I personally see why they are the way they are and why they're giving the advice that they're giving, it's still a really good example of what I'm talking about when it comes to us not having a good relationship with friendships, relationships, anything in general right now. Shara 7 and the Wizard Liz.
I love Shira 7 and Wizard Liz, but a lot of you forget that those content creators are not teaching you how to find a stand-up quality man. Those types of videos are for the women who have completely given up on love and romance and want to maximize their financial well-being for the least amount of effort possible. I don't think there's anything wrong with following their advice. I just think that it's important to recognize the difference between that and finding true love the way that you see in movies.
Even the Wizard Liz, I love the fact that she's been vulnerable on the internet, and she is very, very honest. I will say, I just watched her recent video talking about how to get cheated on, which, girl, that's how you do it. Don't let them beat you down. Get right back up on your feet and just have it be a learning lesson. It just really sucks that she had to kind of go through that and kind of have that be like a learning lesson. I hate that like life has to be that way sometimes, but I'm really honestly proud of her for coming out and speaking out about these things. But even with her, she kind of said in that video that she didn't really know if she loved him or if she just saw him as like a fatherly figure, her ex-fiance.
He's like, I want to do anything for you. Like, I want to take care of you. Like, send me your bank account details or your PayPal. Like, I want to prove to you that I really want to do anything for you. This is my problem, okay? I don't really get attracted to men. I just get attracted when they do something for me that is like they're taking care of me. Now, where does this stem from? It stems from not having a father figure in my life. So in my life, I'm not looking for a partner, or I'm not looking to be in love. I'm looking to have that stable feeling of a parent or a father loving you, because that's the void that I feel.
Because he very early on bought her a Rolex or something like that when she kind of already saw a red flag when they were out on their first date. And that kind of just pushed everything else, her little intuition nudging at her to the side, because, you know, she was blinded by the superficial things. She is the girl in the self-improvement, self-development space for women. So for her to come out and say that, it is very telling, right? I will say, the Wizard Liz does focus a lot more on self-love, self-worth, and things like that. But a lot of it is a little bit self-centered, of course. Yes, having a man who is steady financially, but mentally, is also very important. As long as he got money, that's all that really matters, instead of other really important things like mental health. If you feel emotionally safe with the person, if you feel physically safe with the person. Now, when it comes to friendships are always kind of complicated, and especially nowadays. Trust me when I say that I'm speaking from experience, okay? I completely understand how hard it is nowadays to not only just make friendships, but maintain friendships. So for example, for me, I have moved around quite a bit, right? So that alone has already made it kind of hard for me to maintain the friendships that I've had. A lot of the friends that I have right now are not relatively new, but like the longest friendship I have like currently, it's probably about 8 years. Actually, I don't want to say that, because again, like I said, like I have friends still from other places that I lived, but they're far, and literally distance is, it truly does. Honestly, I know very, very, very few people that are able to maintain the same level of friendshipness with someone long distance that they did when they were in the same space. It's definitely not easy, and I'm speaking from experience here, okay? But it definitely is one of those things where if you do want friends, and if you do actively wonder why you're not making friends or why you're not maintaining friendships, it is one of those things where it's like, okay, now we have to reflect on what we could possibly be doing to not have people around us. You're gonna have to go through a lot of people, and like some people just like got their own thing going on, like their own trauma, their own situation, that you just like, for your own emotional and physical, even sometimes well-being, you can't be around people like that. And I myself have had to remove quite a few friends from my life, so I understand that. And also, you know, it's kind of hard to make friends nowadays, honestly, because even as someone who is African, I hang around in a lot of cultural spaces and stuff like that. So I noticed a very stark difference between how Americans interact with other people in the public and most, not all, most collectivist societies are more friendly just in general. Like they're more willing to say what's up to people, say hi, and smile at people, or whatever the case may be. And I think I was just raised that way. Like I think my mom is very friendly, and she just like, when she walks past someone, she smiles and stuff like that. So even for me, right, because I am always down to make a new friend because I love meeting new girly pops, but sometimes I'll go to like a cafe by myself or even with some friends, and I just noticed that like a lot of people are just in their head, in their phone, or don't really want to interact socially with other people.
I saw this creator, the designer, talking about the Gen Z stare, and I'll link her down below. It's basically this idea that when you talk to certain members of Gen Z, they just kind of stare at you for 5 seconds and like form a response, but are very not socially equipped. And it's interesting because I talked about this sort of in September or October, where I said that there is this rise of like antisocial behavior where a lot of people in service positions, like a lot of young people, will not greet customers. And I said, you should probably say hi if you're working retail. And people jumped me. I think ultimately we've come to 2 conclusions. One, and I didn't pay enough attention to this back then, but it's been 9 months. I think Gen Z's social skills were inevitably like atrophied by COVID. And I think that a lot of them are actually experiencing intense levels of social anxiety. But at the same time, the internet has caused an incredible rise in antisocial behavior over the last 10 years. And we see this all the time. The rise in, I don't owe anyone anything. I go to parties and I don't bring anything. I would never drive my friends to the airport. If you bring me chili, you are assaulting me. Like all of these insane discourses that we've had over the last 10 years, it is all stemming from this idea that you are an individual, you don't owe anyone anything, and human beings are just like existing to serve you. You don't actually have to interact with your fellow man. And I obviously am saying that this is part of the reason that we are having a loneliness crisis, that dating is so hard. We are in all of these separate epidemics because all of it is stemming from the same place.
I say that all to say that there are multiple reasons why it is hard to make friends and maintain them nowadays. But I would say a huge reason for that is that everyone is so focused on themselves, which is fine. Of course, you do gotta prioritize yourself. That's the thing. Prioritize yourself and not completely just focus on yourself, because humans are naturally social creatures. Like we want to have people around us. We want to have a village. But again, in order to have a village, you have to be a villager. You have to give and take. It's not just take. You do have to give too. This actually just reminded me of another video I saw of someone talking about how their bridal shower, basically they were sitting in the bathroom crying because people were canceling on her like literally an hour before her bridal shower was supposed to start.
Don't mind me just crashing out in my bathroom, getting the tears out an hour before my baby shower. This is why I fucking hate celebrating myself. People are like, oh, you never do anything for your birthday. Bitch, this is the fuck why. I can't tell you how many people have literally sent me a text message an hour before my baby shower letting me know they can't make it. An RSVP event where reminders were sent a week ahead, a day ahead, like so many fucking reminders. And an hour before, this is how you do me. Canceling a week before, classy. Canceling the morning of, questionable. Canceling an hour before is fucking diabolical. To a pregnant woman, yeah, maybe it's the hormones, or maybe I'm just a fucking human that's really fucking tired of people being inconsiderate. The round ligament pains I've been experiencing while trying to decorate, and I just like powered through it. I'm crashing out right now. You're a shitty person if you do stuff like that. I won't be elaborating.
And it's like, that is not a friend. That is not a friend. And unfortunately, a lot of people move like that. And what's even scarier is that a lot of people encourage people to move like that. I get mental health. I get prioritizing yourself. I know that things happen. Life is so unpredictable. But there's a difference between that and just not wanting to show up for your friends. And I know that that's the case for a lot of people, because there's no way that you got half of your bridal shower canceling the hour before and they all had some life-threatening crisis. It's, again, the mentality of, I don't owe anybody anything. If you consider yourself someone's friend, you do owe them your friendship. That's what a friendship is. You do owe them to show up to important life events. Even if you might not want to, you still show up for your friend's birthday. Even if it's just for a few minutes. I literally have like a few different friend groups right now. Some of them might not get along together. Like I can't mix certain friend groups. But there will be certain nights where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I literally these girls invited me somewhere and these girls invited me somewhere, and even though I don't have to say yes, I still feel like I'm being a good friend by at least trying to show up. For example, this one weekend there was like a show going on. They sent it through the group chat, and I could have done better on this too. That's the other thing too. You got to be responsible with your friends and plan accordingly. But I kind of just looked at the flyer, and I think I saw like Sunday or something like that, and I was like, oh yeah, that works perfectly fine. Hell yeah, I'm so down. And then when I got closer to, one of my other friends was like, hey girl, would you want to go out on this night? And I was like, hell yeah. And I was like, oh, we have a little bit of conflict of interest. But it did work out perfectly because the first event that I was invited to ended kind of early, so I could still go out with my friends after. And yeah, it was tight. Yeah, it was a little bit like I had to like move here, move there, but that's just like showing up for your friends. And then the event that I was at too, it was for a really good cause, and I'm really, really glad I showed up for my friends. But that's literally what you do if you want to consider yourself someone's friend, if you want to have fulfilling, meaningful relationships with people, because at the end of the day, like, treat others how you would want to be treated. You would want to have people, like, if you invited your friends, it would hurt if every single time, or at least a majority of the time, they're like, sorry, I'm busy, or even worse, they're like, yeah, I'm so down, and then they flake on you. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't. And yes, definitely set boundaries. You can have boundaries, but also be a good friend. You don't have to like compromise your morals, your what you value, what's important to you to be a good friend. Just be good at planning, you know? Yes, life is unpredictable, but be so for real. There are really only a handful of times, I would hope, at least. If there's not, maybe you should go talk to a spiritual guide, because if you're going through a crisis every single week, I'm gonna pray for you, for real though. No, but seriously, plan accordingly, be a good friend, hold your word. Oh my god, that is literally why for me it is such a green flag when people hold their word. Like, especially for me, because I really do try my hardest to keep my word. Even like if I'm not feeling great, like if I said I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna try to do it, because at that point I just feel like nothing you say has weight. And I feel like that's the reason why a lot of people get stuck in certain habits and patterns, because they don't respect their own word. So for me, I really, 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 really respect people who hold their word. So, you know, that's a huge thing in friendships is, you know, don't agree to something if there's a chance that you can't go. If your mental health isn't doing well that month, and you probably know, hey, this might not be a good time for me to hang out with people, don't go. Just tell them that though. Tell them that, and tell them that ahead of time at the bare minimum, but still try your best to show up for your friends. And I feel like nowadays that art has been lost. Now, of course, with dating and marriage, relationships like that, they've always been complicated, okay? But I feel like now more than ever, relationships have, I don't want to say relationships, I want to say the narrative surrounding relationships has become more about being transactional. Like any relationship, there's a give and a take, but like anything, like relationships with friends, they're a lot more complex and complicated than just you hang out with your friends here and there, you hang out with your friends there and there. You have a man that provides for you, and you're like the pretty trophy wife. Like, there's a lot more to relationships than that. It's kind of setting us up for failure. It really is, because that's not the most important part of a relationship at all. Everyone wants a good friend, but can't be a good friend. Everyone wants a good partner, but can't be a good partner. And of course, I'm generalizing, but that's the climate that we're in right now.
Community is dead in America, right? Because somewhere along the way, protecting our peace and minding our own business turned into self-isolation. And that longing for community has made so many people overcompensate. And what I mean by that is looking at the rise of people who say, oh, I hate small talk. Tell me about your childhood trauma. We're so desperate for a sense of community that we've completely forgotten normal boundaries.
Oh my gosh, this Huda Beauty powder smells delicious. Like, it smells like, I don't know, I don't usually like fragranted like facial products, but it kind of gives me the same vibe as like the Dior It's not the same smell, but there's like this Dior serum that I used to use, and it smells really similar to this. And it's funny because a lot of the content we see nowadays about relationships is how to find a good partner. But how often do we see videos telling us how to be a good partner? How often do we see videos telling us how to be a good friend? And a lot of the videos nowadays, even when we see like, you know, red flags to look out for in friendships, and like, as a strict girl, these are things that like I don't tolerate in friendships, and like, yeah, that's fair. That is fair, and everyone is allowed to have standards, and I'm really glad that people are setting high standards for themselves. But we do have to be realistic and give people grace, because no one is perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect, especially in friendships. And I feel like, you know, a lot of the shows even we watched growing up literally taught us that. Like, I don't know if we just forgot, or like we just don't care anymore about like the lessons that we were taught in some of the shows that we watched growing up. But a lot of the shows I remember watching growing up, friendships are so like complicated. Like, you're gonna fight, you're gonna have disagreements, you're gonna have situations happen where you're like, damn, you could have been a better friend. But nowadays the narrative is kind of like, oh, like, y'all gotta go. Like, if you even cross me once, or if you do one thing that I see as a red flag, you're out of here. And you know, I'm pretty strict too, okay? Like, when I tell you guys I've gone through like one of the hardest breakups I've gone through, I haven't gone through a breakup for real, but this breakup that I'm going through is very, 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 very hard, because I really do love the person, but there's just certain things that I don't take lightly at all. And, you know, I definitely didn't wait for things to get to a point where it was too late, or where something actually happened. I did like just recognize that, you know, there are certain red flags that are too red. There is not like a disagreement. It's not like a little like fluke or like a flaw or something like that. It's like a genuine bright fluorescent red flag. So for me, I definitely agree, like, have those boundaries, have those standards, you know, but also give people the same grace you give yourself. And that's another part of the whole like self-centeredness. Like, we can be as flawed as we want, and because, you know, we're growing and we're evolving. But if anyone in my life wants to enter and they do this, that, and the third, and we have all these long lists of things, and like, they're out of here. Like, it's not very fair, and it's not very realistic. I really do hope that we kind of get over this whole like self-centeredness thing we got going on, and I really do have hope for us. We're constantly evolving, we're constantly learning, and I feel like we're gonna return to a point in society where people are a lot less on their phone, a lot less chronically online. I think that's another really, really big part of it too. It's like, a lot of people aren't really out in the field, like actually being a friend, and are instead online complaining about how they don't have friends, which again, like I said, I do understand where that comes from to some extent, but at the same time, it's like, you have the power to change what you want to change. Like, for me, I just want to give you guys like a little bit of like background, because sometimes people just be leaping to conclusions about people that they don't know. Like, girl, if little do y'all know, actually, little do y'all know, I went through a point where I genuinely experienced friendship trauma. And if you've experienced friendship trauma, you know that shit, like, no one talks about how, like, it's genuinely on par with relationship trauma to some extent. Like, I genuinely shut down. I was like, I'm done. Fuck friends. Like, I don't need friends. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm literally solo dolo. I'll do shit on my own. I don't care. I shut down. I stopped talking to a lot of my friends. I stopped genuinely trying to make friends. And like, I realized, I was like, damn, like, I miss my girls. And I miss having like that spark, because I've always been that type of person to like just talk to random people, like when I see them sitting by themselves or something like that. So I was like, damn, like, something's missing, something is not right. And when I tell you guys, this was for like about 2 years, because I just like, I was genuinely traumatized, y'all. I didn't want to fuck with people. I did not want to mess with people at all.
And I was kind of starting to sulk a little bit too, and I was like, damn, like I don't have any friends, like the friends that I do have, I don't even talk to them that much. And like I was sulking about it, but I decided, I was like, you know what, this is completely in my control. You have to remember that certain things like that, even as hard as they may be, they are in your control. And I've made like 5 new friends since that time. I've reconnected some old friendships, and like I've been so happy and so well-rounded and grounded in my friendships. And I'm realizing that like, yeah, there's gonna be other points in my life where I'm probably gonna have another situation that's gonna traumatize me with a friend, but at the end of the day, we're social creatures. We appreciate and need, so we need social interaction. And I feel like that goes into a huge part of the reason as to why the loneliness epidemic is a thing, and why everyone is mean as shit now, because they're frustrated and they don't really know where to take it out on. All right, let me just do this real quick so I don't mess it up. Cute. Did put some lash clusters on. I love these lash clusters. I be going like in and out of my phase of wearing lashes versus wearing lash clusters, and I only put them on this weekend because I knew I was going to be doing a lot like each day, and then I have some content to film, so I was like, you know what, let me just do a quick little lash cluster. But these lashes, I don't even know how to pronounce it, I'll put it on the screen, but these have to be one of my favorites, as well as the Kiyu lashes, to die for. But yeah, you guys, if you guys want like a little maybe like story time or like advice video, because I know a lot of you girlies are in school and school just started back up, and I know how friendships can be in high school. They're very tricky and they can be very tricky and very complex. So if you guys maybe want like an advice video on friendships and stuff like that, let me know in the comments. I wish I had a video like that when I was in high school or middle school. But as per usual, of course, this is just a quick little video of me getting ready and talking about as much of a topic as I can. So there is a lot more to this conversation to be had. I love hearing your guys' comments. I love you guys, like are the kings and queens of expanding on conversations. Like that is genuinely a skill. Let me know how you guys like this makeup look. I love it. I didn't do eyeshadow today. I literally just did the foundation on my lid and some powder, which I really like, especially with lash clusters. I feel like because they're pretty heavy, so they kind of like block out the eyeshadow anyway, so it's not really, doesn't make much of a difference. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this makeup look. I'm so excited to hear what you guys have to say about this conversation in the comments down below. Anyways, it has been your girl Tima. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you on another video soon. Bye, girl.